hello to you. It's Movie Time. It's produced by the legendary man here, John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Crystal Davis.
And this is It's Movie Time. Now, Crystal, film that has come out a couple of weeks ago, and unusual for us not to hop on it right away. But I thought we had to come back to this one because I think it's one of the big ones of the year. Darkest Hour. Set it up for us, will you?
Wow. It's World War II, and Hitler is on the brink, basically, of taking over Europe.
Bad boy, yeah.
Yeah. Invading France, and this is also around the time of the Dunkirk.
Yes.
When the troops were stranded at Dunkirk. And all I can say is, wow, what a movie. I mean, yes.
Why would a person go to see this?
Honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not a huge history buff.
Okay.
And, I was a little concerned that maybe it would lose me at times, but it didn't. I mean, and I think it was very captivating. And what was really interesting about this movie, I think, is that, yes, there was a lot of history in it, but it was about the rhetoric. It wasn't about battles. Like I expected to go there and see a lot of battles as part of the history.
Yes.
It really wasn't about that.
No. Who is it about?
It's about Winston Churchill.
Oh, my
and
Lord.
What, we all, know about Winston Churchill and what a fascinating character he was. But this really showed all of the sides of Winston Churchill.
Well, and you used the right word, rhetoric. It's one of those cases where I realized that wars can be won by words. And here was a time, as you accurately described, where Hitler was about to consume everybody, even Great Britain, good Lord, across the channel. And there were so many people in England, not the least of which was Neville Chamberlain and Lord Halifax, who wanted appeasement. They wanted to talk to Hitler, and they wanted to work things out. And by gosh, this short, chubby, cigar-chomping, round glass, whiskey-drinking prime minister faced him down and told all these people they couldn't do that. And wow, with his speeches are worth having alone. What do you think his chances are this year? Gary Oldman playing.
I think he's got to get a statue. He has to.
Don't you?
He disappeared in the role, which is what you would want from any actor. You forgot it was Gary Oldman. The prosthetics were awesome. He nailed his voice, I think. He really did. He disappeared into the character.
There were two things on that. First one is I'd like to bring a film geek there who had no prior knowledge, and set him down and say, now, who is that on the screen? And I'll bet you he couldn't figure out if that was Gary Oldman, because you are so right, he just loses himself in that. The second point is, I think our review, it sounds like we're moving toward a very high grade and recommendation for our audience. Understand that he is so into character that at times he mumbles.
Yes.
And you can't think that your hearing's going bad, because a lot of people who have heard it know that there are some phrasing at the end of a sentence, for instance, that's lost.
Yes.
And you can't get upset by that.
No.
My theory, Crystal, is in order to get that realistic cinema, they allow that to happen. If we were sitting in the room, we'd say, now, Winston, what did you say? I didn't catch that.
Exactly. At one point I thought to myself, we need closed captioning, but I know that was part of his character because I wanted to know what he said, but you couldn't understand what he said.
You're so right. I so would not want to see closed captioning, but believe me, if I watched it again, if I had the right screener, I'd have closed caption, because I am, as you are, we're language people, and missing any language is really difficult for me. And yet, although I understand his character, why is Winston flawed? I mean, there were so many people who did not want him to become prime minister. What was his problem? Can you see from the way Oldman has his character what difficulty he had with people?
Well, I mean, he drank a lot, and some people didn't like that. They
Yes.
said he was very flawed in that regard.
Yes.
He was very straightforward, He was very opinionated. He did not want to negotiate for peace.
Right, he did.
So a lot of people did not agree with that.
Yeah, right. So he was. I think the word might also be blunt. He was really blunt.
Yes.
I mean, the only person who could go nose to nose with him was
his wife. Yes.
played wonderfully by Kristen Scott.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Also, his secretary, Lily James, played
Yes.
by Lily James.
Yes.
She was a fantastic character in this as well.
Yes, Elizabeth Layton played it, and I agree with you. She did that. And Kristen Scott Thomas as Clemmy, his wife. And
Yes.
as we've indicated, she can go nose to nose with him. She
Yes.
can be just as harsh as he is. And that's what he needed and appreciated.
Exactly.
And I also like, have you been to London?
I haven't. No, I have not.
Okay, all right. And I have been to London so many times, but I have never seen the war cabinet rooms that are still, you can still go through them.
Really?
Yeah, and Spielberg brilliantly takes you through those narrow passages underneath so that they can be protected from the bombs.
Yes.
And, a lot of people talking this way and that way as he's going down and Lily is following him.
You really got a feel of being there.
Oh, wow.
It was great. And the cinematography, as you would expect, was fantastic in this.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Although as expansive as you would think it would be, talking about Belgium, France, England, it's also very claustrophobic inside those war rooms.
It is. Yes, it is. And, interestingly and just coincidentally, I just happened to, the week before that you asked me to review this film,
Right.
which I had no idea was going to happen, I just saw Dunkirk.
Thank you.
So that was the perfect timing. I mean, because I had all of that context of that film, which I thought was very good. And with this one, it really played well together. So if you can, I would recommend seeing those around the same time.
Oh, thank you. It's a wonderful recommendation. Churchill, as I found out in Darkest Hour, was the one who thought up the civilian boats.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, that was so cool.
Bristol, the entire war would have been changed.
I know.
If they had not thought of rescuing perhaps the whole British Army.
Yes.
Stuck in Dunkirk.
And such a hero as far as coming up with that idea, and then the citizens coming and doing that, risking their lives. What a great story.
So you are right. A wonderful companion piece, Dunkirk and Darkest Hour. And with that, I think that maybe there's a resurgence. In interest in World War II. Great thing about movies.
Yes.
I feel like I've been there. It's not a mystery to me anymore.
Yes,
I understand
me too.
it. Crystal Davis, the movie is Darkest Hour. What grade would you award it?
I'd give definitely an A. A plus, actually.
Crystal.
I love it.
Well, I will tell you that I agree with you wholeheartedly that it is an A, and let's just say this. If you're looking at people's top 10, this appears.
Yes.
If you want to put your money on Best Actor.
Definitely Gary Oldman.
Thanks.